Welcome back to the stream, everyone. My name is Joel Duggan. We are, of course, back on the Citadel server, hanging out in Westhill with a checklist. We are going to finish off, I think, the curtain wall today. We've got some landscaping and stuff to do along the base of the wall. North curtain wall, foot detail, and debris is basically what we have to work on. Should be pretty straightforward. I'm not anticipating it being too difficult. We're full up on carrots and rockets, and we're just going to grab a bunch of stone blocks, moss, grass, that kind of thing, and get right to it. So we will definitely need those. Probably not going to need a lot of bricks. I would say all of this has to come with us. Probably some tuff, because we didn't have tuff when we built the wall. Probably some gravel. I don't think blackstone is going to be an issue. Definitely going to need coarse dirt. Well, I say that. We're probably going to need the dirt landscaping thing. So we'll grab that. We'll grab moss, grass, dirt. Probably that. Probably the bushes. Bone meal. Do the bushes have a little bit of mangrove? Not much. And I think that's it. I don't think we need any wood. It's mostly grass and stone all around the outside. Hope everyone's having a good weekend so far. Mine only just started, but can't complain about a pancake breakfast. I think I have all my other stuff, yeah. Bed and ender chest and all those things. So essentially what I need to do is make a final pass at the bottom of the wall and give it this kind of detail, like some cobble, gravel, maybe we have some andesite, maybe some dips here and there. But I think the first thing I want to do is actually remove, I think I might want to actually remove this entire level right here. So that would go too. I think I might want to keep that, make the wall feel a little bit taller. I feel like this wall feels more imposing, even though I know it's just a single block. And this just feels more accessible. So I think the first thing we're going to do is take out some of this. And I guess I'll set up here in the middle. There's a there's a wandering trader head over there. There's several. I guess this is where Cosmic was putting them. That's great. Traders be warned. Wandering traders be warned. I'm probably going to need at least the bow and the arrows, just because I imagine we're going to get a lot of riffraff. Dirt, grass, moss. Right. These we can just throw somewhere. So first things first, we cut some dirt away. Have I seen the snapshot? I saw the concept for the snapshot. I saw the trailer that they made online. I saw the loader yesterday. I know that I've talked about this on the Spawn Chunks podcast before, but I am not a fan of April Fools, and I tend to just not give two shakes about anything that happens on the internet on April Fools. I find the whole April Fool's joke thing tiring, and Mojang gets it right. Mojang, like, they do something interesting and fun. They do not pretend that it's real, you know, whereas I find that other developers just like flat out lie. Surprisingly, one of the other companies that I thought had a funny April Fool's video was Coffee Stain. About they had it about their check mark in Satisfactory, and they were making fun of Twitter. They were making fun of Elon Musk and stuff. I thought it was very well done. So I think I'm taking this whole thing. Yep. I realize that flattening this out is a little counterintuitive. It's a little homogenized in the way that I'm doing the landscape, but I'd really like to have a taller wall here. I'm probably making a lot of work for myself because this is probably going to be a lot of stone that has to be removed. I think it'll help with the bridge approach too. We'll be lower going into the bridge. Be nice. And MindTripMedia, not to remove anybody else's enjoyment of April Fools. If you like April Fools, have fun. Don't worry about it. It's just me. I don't like it. That doesn't mean other people can't enjoy it. I have not looked at the snapshot. I know that's about choices and about making fun of all the voting and stuff. So I just don't find that I have the time to just dabble in things like that kind of a snapshot, because ultimately it just doesn't interest me. But that's just me. If people want to mess around and have fun in a weird and wonky snapshot, then all the power to you. I'm not saying that's not something that you should enjoy. I'm just saying it's something that I won't be doing. And Johnny tends to look into that kind of stuff on the Spawn Chunks podcast, so it means I don't have to. So that's good. Yeah, I think Pick said he was streaming with Bruno Denoy. I think that's what he said. You know, to this day, I still don't know what the most efficient way of removing large pieces of grass and dirt is. Straight lines going back and forth. It all kind of leads to the same result, but I just get bored. Oh, did he stream it yesterday or was it today? The for context, the snapshot, was that pic streaming today or is it later today? The problem with having this much flat land is that I don't know what exactly to do with it in terms of proper like building and trees, or like what do we do? The idea, I think, was that this town was designed to be defended, but I don't think it has necessarily the immediate need. So anything like a tree that's out here, if the town was under siege, then like, you know, or if there was threat of war, they'd just go down and cut the trees that were in the way, you know? Okay, cool. Pixel Riffs is going to be streaming the April Fool's snapshot later today. Right on. How did you get there? So obviously, sometimes this changes the way that you do your layout. So there's a couple of things that we can change here, I think. Some of this may change as we put more kind of rubble and stuff along the bottom. Some of this might have to be shifted around, but so yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the April Fool snapshot might involve, but I imagine just a lot of changing, you know, checkboxes and choices and stuff like that. Pix is really into Minecraft Bingo as well, which is not something I've tried yet. Nothing against it, just I've been so focused on finishing Westhill. I might take some breaks and explore some stuff like that, like, you know, after I finish this build. All right, so now that we've got that done, is this the right sort of shape? Probably not. I would think we'd have to lower the road. I'm okay with this wall being here. I don't mind like a retaining wall. That's fine. We might want to change it a little bit. Yeah, I don't think this should necessarily come out this far, but part of it is going to be just dropping this down. This is one of those classic situations where like you start off with the idea of doing one thing, which is to do the debris along the bottom of the wall, but then you realize there's about 3 other tasks that you have to complete before you can do that. leave that there. Spider's Den, hello, welcome in. How many check things are left in the book? I put the book back, but next time I go back over to the little home base there, we'll take a look. It's not a lot. The big things are the keep has to be the top part of the keep has to be redone, and that's going to be several streams. I think that's probably going to take me a full week. I'd imagine probably 4 or 5 streams. It's probably about 15 hours. There's a bunch of other things outside of the town that are on the list, but I'm trying to make sure I finish the inside or immediate like town related things. So that's why I'm doing this wall detail, because I think this is one of the last things about the town in general that needs fixing. So one thing I'm not super happy with is the way that this wall kind of comes out, so we might try and change the direction of the road a little bit. And I obviously need to go back, dump some inventory. Let's not put that there. So yeah, so page 1 is done, 2 is finished, 3 is finished, 4 is finished, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 is the keep. That's a big one. 10 is the keep. Surrounding countryside is going to be last. We pick at those a little bit here and there, but that's not important. Curtain wall, we're almost done. And then there's the river stuff. And then the trails and tails update, hanging signs, vine growth settings, that kind of thing. So we're more than halfway through the checklist for sure. But this is just a really big item on the list. I'm going to need all that stone in a minute anyway. Already I like the look of this slightly lower road more. Venom, thanks very much for the follow. Appreciate it. Wish we had wall size logs. Yeah, we've definitely mentioned that before on the channel. I agree. So here we've got the road coming down to a narrower road. And the only thing that I don't like about this right now is how it kind of sticks out here. Like I kind of want it to be a little bit straighter here. So all I want to do is kind of grab this and see if we can't pull it away sooner. So I would say even like here. And then maybe these two are actually going to be this level. And then these two will be in the ground. Whoops. And that's going to mean that this is going to get pushed back. I don't know. I might even want to change the direction of it a little bit. Yeah, I feel like these need to come down too. Yep, and then we'll drop these two. Yeah, I feel like that's a cleaner approach. I might even just change that up a little bit. I don't know if this is going to stay stone or if we're going to change it to like cobble or something, but we'll just put the right color in here for now. And all this needs to get dug up. And this is why I didn't texture this road, because I knew it wasn't quite where I wanted it to be. Gonna have to watch my shovel. Lots of fireworks going off when Westhill is complete. Yeah, I think I'm gonna invite some people over to tour around. I know a couple of other content creators have expressed interest in coming by and seeing what's up, which is very cool. I want to make sure I stay on the sleeping because of how dark it is out here on the plains. Lots of mobs. There's not a lot of street lights outside of just the main crossroads. We haven't addressed any lighting out here, which is going to be very tricky. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. I mean, I think basically the method is going to be, it's dangerous to go alone. Here, take this. I think that's basically, if you go outside the walls, you're on your own. Game behind the seek. Oh gosh, that would be time consuming. Does anybody else see the screen flicker whenever I place a block? It's like there's a stutter. It's like the game, the whole screen has like a jar to it. Yeah, it must be just me. All right, so I feel like that's a better dynamic, having a retaining wall along here rather than a raised road. It's looking pretty good. Can't believe how quickly that grass took over. That's great. So the only other thing here would be, obviously some of this would need to be slabs for it to be a gradual incline. And I don't think I necessarily like the way that this comes out here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go to about here. And if that's all slabs, then something like that would be a full block. Do 2, go 3. And see how that looks. I think that makes sense. And then we can just have the other one echo it. And it looks like it's doing a pretty good job already. Usually what I like to do is just take like a specific point that I think is important, like this dip right here. And let's go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll just echo this, but we'll offset it by a block. And maybe we'll have it go smoothly to here. So 2 blocks there. And then we can just tie the other end in best we can. It's going to be hard to see until we have all the grass back to normal. But we'll just oops. That should probably work. So it looks like it flows with the exception of this part here at the end. That's a little bit better. All right, so I think that's a decent look for the height. Obviously, it's very boring, so we're going to have to add in all that detail that we wanted to add before. I think that's going to work out okay. I don't think I've done anything over here. Not yet. I wonder if it's worth doing all the landscaping first and then going through and doing all of the rubble and everything else at the same time. Oh, gravel's full. Oh, Archeo Plays. Welcome in. Good to see you again. Yeah, I heard that you were working on some of the trail ruins. Really appreciate you chiming in during our live Spawn Chunks episode. That was cool. I have to mention it to Pixelriff, so I'm sure he would be on board. But once Trails and Tales actually is released, 100% out, we'd love to have you back on the show to talk about it, I'm sure. Maybe not like the breaking news like week it is available, but maybe like once everyone has had like, you know, a week or two, you know, to come back. The thing that shocked me, Archeo Plays, was I think you said it was 67 opportunities to use the brush with suspicious sand and suspicious gravel in one single trail ruin. Yes, if you've got video, that would be great. Yeah, for sure. Send that along, and then we can figure out the best timing. We've got some other guests that we're working on as well. It's just kind of slow in the background. All right, so I think the next thing to do is just going to be more of this landscaping stuff. First, though, we need to switch shovels because this is looking like it's potentially a problem. I'd say that's probably the best one. So along here, we've got this weird problem of this like dip. So from a strategy point of view, it's actually pretty good to have your enemy lower. But it feels kind of weird and manufactured. So I don't exactly know the best way to sort this out. I think part of it is going to have to do with these towers, and I'm okay with this little rise. Like I think this little rise here along the base of the tower is fine because this is such a big wall. But I think it kind of comes out a little bit too far. So I think maybe here. Ah, and that is why. That's why it's here. No, I will not be diving into the hole, I don't think. Not today. A lot of coarse dirt in the ruins as well. I didn't know that. Yeah, I think I want to smooth this out a little bit. I'm okay with it coming out here, so maybe like 1, 2, 3 max. And then we'll just kind of smooth this out as best we can. I think that looks like a pretty natural spot. Maybe we'll pull it in a little bit more here. Where did you come from, Pig? Didn't see you here before. Yeah, so I feel like if that is just like a bit of land that we can cover with rubble and bushes and stuff, that feels pretty natural. I might even just take one more off here. And that means all of this is going to go. There is a cave entrance here too. Natural landscaping is something you love and hate at the same time. I find that I really like the results. I do find that the process is very time consuming, but it's the kind of thing where, like, if I can't sleep at night, I might log in and like clear out a river, or just kind of come in and just like, especially when it's things like this where like it's just a basic stone should not be here. We need to replace the stone with grass or dirt and just move on, right? And so here I just need to find the other end of this. And I think part of this is going to be fine-tuning it up against the road here. And this feels very strange. So I feel like here we're probably going to actually have this connect here. So we'll have this go out like that. And then this is just going to be another small arc here, probably coming into the back of this. Don't have any extra stone, so I'll just put in bricks for now. So with this, the only thing I'm doing, for people that aren't really catching on, I'm doing gradual increases from 1s to 2s to 3s, and then just something longer, and then kind of decreasing after that. I try not to go more than 5 or 7, because after that it starts to feel a little bit strange. 5. And I think essentially this is just going to lead back down here. So I want this to feel a little more like a natural hill that they've built the road on. You can sort of see it in the little map in the corner, kind of what I'm looking at. But then you can see how it's just a little bit more of a natural kind of slope. And it follows a little bit more of like where they might build the road up towards the higher ground where the bridge deck would start. And so the thing that I'm struggling with is this area right here. This weird, let me just get up higher. It helps if we face the right way too. So there's the two like natural curves we've made, and we can maybe even change this a little bit to match. But then this weird kind of guitar shape is where we need to kind of like figure things out. And I think what I'd like to do is wrap this around and have it like fan into that and have this kind of like curve around in that way. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. Let's go with maybe 2 blocks there, maybe 3. I think we have to go a little bit farther. Well, maybe we're just go 5 here. So I think that's about where I'd want it to connect. And now I'm going to start with the other side. I feel like this is actually pretty good as to like how far away it is from this. I feel like this would need some substantial earth to sit on. So I'm okay with this. 1, 2, 3. I got 5. This is where I think I might push a little bit farther. So one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 3. Oh no, I'm gonna go 3 there, 3 there, 2 there. Maybe right into the singles. Yep. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. I try not to have more than 5 singles in a row as well. I find that tends to work the best. So now you can kind of see where I'm heading. And the easy way to do this is once you have like a spot like here, you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 maybe. Yeah, so 7 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can probably do sections of like 4. Or get to sections of 4 as quickly as possible. Wolfie King 05, thanks very much for the follow. So we're probably going to have to tighten this up a little bit, but for now, it's connected and we can fine tune it. So you can see, it might be a little bit even. It looks a little bit like a math problem, but now that feels less like a weird fishbowl thing once we clear out this section over here on the left. And it's attached a little bit more. I've obviously messed up here. That's not right. And then I feel like some of these need to be longer. So we'll just come in and shave off kind of sections until we can make it all line up. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so that's a little bit too straight. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5. Let's go with 3, 3, and then 2s down to 1s. That should work. Hopefully it doesn't look too much like a circle. It's a little on the perfect side, but I'd rather that than what we had before, so that's good. What I should be doing is run around here with shears and collecting all these for later placement. Because I feel like we're running low on grass in our green bin. A little late now, but I'll at least get rid of the tall grass. It's almost half a stack, that's good. Now there's an edge here to the cave. I don't think I'm going to keep the cave. I think I'm just going to cover it over. And I'm okay with the cave being really dark because it means that mobs will be spawning down there, eventually, you know, potentially keeping mobs from spawning on the surface. The problem is that, of course, if you're close enough, you can hear them. LeigerGaming coming in with a party of 4. Welcome in, Leiger. Good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. Raiders, welcome. What were you up to on stream, Leiger? What were you working on? Leiger raid, Leiger raid, Leiger raid. Ancients, hello. We were taking a look at the Minecraft April Fool's snapshot. Oh, okay. So just Pixelriffs is going to be streaming that later as well. Folks that want to see what it was like can go follow Leiger on Twitch and check it out as well. But what were your impressions? What did you think about it? We're doing some landscaping just outside of the castle, just or the town wall rather. We've got. I wanted to make the walls feel a little bit taller, and I wanted to kind of like rough out some of the very Minecrafty generation things. More fun than expected. Spent ages just terraforming into different mobs, transforming into different mobs. Oh, you can transform into different mobs. A lot of things, but Leiger decided he was going to open up shooting range with target blocks so that the mending bow doesn't go to waste. Okay. You can make mobs bigger and smaller. I saw in the trailer there was like a big head on a player. And yes, I know I don't have to do 2 layers, but I have more blocks than I know what to do with right now, so we're just kind of rolling with it. Huge accommodation axolotl, super tiny creepers, 16 size or 0.1x size. Wow. So in context, like was it just a bunch of game settings that you could mess with? Or was it like in-game things that you could do to cause the mobs to be different scales? In-game things. Oh, that's cool. This is just a giant hole, which, you know what? I'm just going to fill in. Otherwise, I have to light it. Anybody else do this? Like, I find that I'm one of the few players that will, like, fill in places rather than just pave them over. It's been beneficial inside in the town because a lot of times I've wanted to add, like, passageways or different things where a hole like this would be something I would partially fill in, but then utilize for, like, a secret passage or something. You fill in places a lot? I find it helps right now because I'm dedicating a lot of my shulker boxes just to storing dirt and grass, which I know at some point, because it's a 5-year-old server, you always end up needing that stuff later. So I don't like to just let too much despawn. Like, now that I've got some room in my inventory, I'm going to gather up the stuff that's floating here. Plus, part of me is just like a completionist in the game, doesn't like leaving stuff like this around. But, you know, like, knowing that you've got several shulker boxes full of dirt and grass means the next time you do like a landscaping project, even if it's not here, like maybe it's the modern city or whatever, I can just bring all my stuff with me and be set to go. Because nothing drives me nuts about having some creative inspiration and then having to put the brakes on and go collect things, you know, go collect materials. I find that kind of tedious. So here is the entrance to a cave, which I think we'll leave for now. I don't think I want to do anything fun with that. And now I just have to decide what this is going to be. I think this is going to be a fairly steep river embankment, so we're probably going to fill this in too. I do find it gets very claustrophobic. If you have any kind of like claustrophobic tendencies in a game, I imagine this would be very tricky. Doing this in VR in Minecraft would be really hard. So I've really not really done much as far as as far as building in medieval stuff today. That might end up being all stone, you know. Getting too dark to see. Oh, that's what I didn't want to do. I got a little bit too distracted. There's a bed down here. Yeah, there's lots of creepers over there. Balak says, I'm like that as well. It just seems so wrong for me to cover up a hole with a layer of dirt. I definitely fill it in if I know I'm going to be landscaping later, because if I'm landscaping later, I absolutely want to avoid trying to replace grass with like dirt or bushes or some sort of decorative block, only to find out that I'm going to plummet to either my death or just a really inconvenience location, and have to deal with like that inconvenience of having like a one thick layer. Like I tend to double up. If I'm going to pave something over, I give it like a too thick layer usually. All right, so we've got at least a stack of grass. That's good. Put that in there. Yeah, see, our grass is full already. I'm just going to bring these to finish out those towers, just so that we're clear on what things are. Now, I feel like this river has already been, yeah, that's been manicured. So we're just going to take the bank up at just a decent clip. I think we're probably going to make this nice and smooth along here. Maybe even 2 blocks in places. And then up here, we'll just kind of, I'll leave this open for now. I'll put a torch here so I can remember where it is. And then the rest of this is just going to be straight up, I think, a regular cliff. That should be good. Delayed break because of the fantastic raid. Thank you very much. I think what I'll do is I'll just finish up this cliffside and then I'll take that break. Appreciate that. Yeah, so for folks that are new, if you're coming in either with the raid or you've found me on your own, I take a break about once an hour. It gives me a chance to just step away from the computer. I usually encourage viewers to do the same thing, you know, grab a stretch, grab a drink, snack. It is Saturday. Get the things that you need. Ah, interesting. That's too steep there. So here, like I said, I'm just opting for a very basic, simple slope. Just kind of like going back by one every layer. It's not an important thing to look at, but I feel like when we put plants and things on this, it can look really cool. We do it right. Now here we can make a slight exception, I think. Because I don't want to mess up this line that we came up with earlier. And this feels really long. I'll just finish this famous last words. Yeah, that's fair. Especially when it's landscaping. Especially when it's landscaping stuff. Nice trick you can use when you get up to higher parts of your hill too, is that you can soften it up a bit. So this should all look pretty good now. There might be a few things that'll stand out. This will obviously stand out. I haven't decided if I'm going to cover that cave up or not, but I think that looks pretty good. Yeah, it's a little straight maybe at the top there. Or very straight. We'll probably come in and work on that a bit. Yeah. Again, hard to tell until all the dirt covers over with grass, but much better than it was before and way more open for us to now add the detail at the bottom. So, you know, sometimes the prepping an area is just as important as the actual texture and details you're going to be adding. Metopina, sorry to hear about your D&D session being closed, but hey, glad you get to hang out longer. That's cool. That and that's now also full. Actually, we're low on stone brick, so we can probably just turn these into brick. We'd have to do this later anyway. Anything else we're low on? Stone stairs. I'll keep those. Keep those. Don't think I need the torches. Cool. Grab that break. Guess the easiest house to sneak into is going to be this one. So, as I mentioned, folks, I do step away from the keyboard about once an hour. It's that time. I'll be right back. Alcor95, thanks very much for the raid. Hope everything is going well. I believe I have an extra window open somewhere, which I will then change. If you would like to redirect your viewers to pop on over to twitch.tv/JoelDuggan, trying to grow the channel, that'll get rid of the raid tag and you just kind of hang out with us here live in the stream. Looks like you were doing some work on Infinity Cove, very cool, and the snapshot, the April Fool snapshot. Yeah, I would be tempted more to play with 1.20 stuff in a snapshot than I would be the April Fool's stuff. All right, so now that we've got that all sorted, most of the dirt has kind of gone away. I think we can start in with some of the rubble and things that I wanted to do. We'll bring the mossy cobble and the mossy stairs. I don't know if we're going to do any andesite, but we'll bring that anyway. And there might be a chance for bricks, but I doubt it. Got that stuff. So really what I'm thinking about is just doing these little piles of rubble in places where they make sense. Trying to make it feel pretty natural where we can. Softening up corners in places. Oh, tough is another block that I should bring. Because there are definitely places along here we could probably throw them in. I don't know about that. Maybe we'll just be better off just kind of making it cobblestone. Yeah, just enough to kind of move things around. I did a little bit more over here with like grass and stuff. The cherry blossom biome is super lovely and found an armor trim. Oh, nice. The shipwreck one? Oh, I don't know what that is. I think that's interesting how the names are not as instinctual as they're probably intended to be. And as a result, I think players are going to end up calling them by their location. Looks pretty good. Maybe we'll just change that. No, that's better before. It's tough to kind of figure out the right balance of getting it to look like a pile without looking like it's pushing like proper context too hard. It's also hard not to repeat the same pattern over and over again. That looks pretty good. Co-storm trim. That would make sense. In a shipwreck. I don't know why I couldn't think about that. It's a good thing I don't do a podcast about Minecraft where I'm supposed to remember all this stuff. This is where I should probably come with more bushes and realize that a lot of this stuff should be more green. See, like this to me looks better mixed in. So I need to go get some mossy cobble and some greenery, I think. Anything else would go good along here? Maybe a fern or two. Maybe some moss would look good. Moss carpet for sure. Mini packs, hello. Hope things are well in your world. Good to see you. Like right here, I feel like we could probably have a little bit more bush going on. Actually, I should bring over some landscaping stuff too, like dirt and things. So maybe a little bit less this stuff. That should be a little bit better. It's hard to do all at once. Hard to do all at once. working super hard on a crowdfunder at the moment. A little sleep deprived. I've been there. I know what that's like. Things are good. I've been working a lot. But I mean, I like my job, so I know, not really complaining. I just find that all of a sudden it's Saturday again. March has disappeared. It's now April. Had an interesting kind of data calculation yesterday. I have to figure out, I think I streamed 29 out of 31 days in March, but that doesn't make sense because I don't remember streaming on Mondays. I feel like I took the Mondays off, so I don't know why I have like the thought of actually streaming more than, because I should have it. I mean, I streamed almost every day, but I feel like I didn't stream Monday, so I feel like that shouldn't be something that sticks out, right? So we'll see. See, and this is where we can use the moss carpet to add some layers in here that really help. Really give a nice base to all of this. That's definitely what I was missing, was my greenery. I don't know whether having like a rock that far out would look good. I guess it makes sense. See, this was done before we had moss, I think. And this is a good example of where we could put a mossy slab. I think having some of this stuff around greenery is going to inform some texture variation, which is going to be important. I feel like this could probably be one too. I like what I've done here. It's pretty subtle. Guess I should have brought some buttons just in case. Nope, that was better there. That. Have you thought about streaming when you cook the things you post on Instagram as you stream Lego buildings? That kind of vibe, I mean. No. There's a certain part of my life that I don't want to share. Cooking is something where I listen to podcasts and I relax and all that kind of stuff. And I don't have a great setup. I live in an apartment. My kitchen is very small. So adding streaming equipment to that, nope, not going to be a thing. And I know some people that set up their phones and just stream that kind of stuff on something like TikTok or whatever. And that's just not my way of doing things. I'd rather have a higher quality stream, but yeah, it's just, you don't want to go full Truman Show exactly mini packs. That's the thing. I mean, like, I don't even do a face cam on Twitch, you know, which, I mean, depending on who you talk to, may or may not impact my growth numbers, but whatever. I feel like that's a pretty solid base. Don't know if I want more greenery over here. Probably a good idea. Even the grass I find helps. Maybe we'll just do, might be too dark, but whatever. Whoops. I really wish we could put grass on top of mossy cobble. Be nice. Cool. Well, that's coming together a little bit faster than I thought. It's funny how just that little geometry change of the carpet really helps sell what you're going for. This is going a lot faster than I thought, which is good. Doesn't look too repetitive. A little evenly spaced, but at least you've got a photo as your avatar right now. You used to forget that I wasn't a cartoon. I had that cartoon for years. It no longer looks like me. That's why I changed it. That's why I changed it. So here's a cool opportunity that we might want to have, like a bush that kind of comes down over the edge here, because I'm not a big fan of seeing all the dirt, and we can cover a lot of this up with moss. But I do like the idea of having something like this that can come out and then come down. And in situations like this, we can just replace with moss to cover up the brown parts. And then here, same thing, we can maybe add in more of the mossy stuff. That might be overkill. Time to sleep if we can. Personally, you don't care whether someone has face cam or not. I come to these streams to watch activity, games, Lego, art, whatever, and chat, not focus on the face of the streamer. Yeah, I think that's probably why I don't have a cam. I think that there are some streams where it makes sense, like horror games. Streamers that focus a lot on just chatting or start their stream by just chatting, I think that warrants a face cam. It's a lot more engaging that way. If I did a podcast that involved a lot of reactions or a lot of back and forth in that way, then I could see myself doing something similar. It kind of covers up what we've done there, but see what that looks like as we walk around. Yeah, it's not bad. Pretty good. Take a look at the road over here. Just a little bit of layers. Nothing too crazy. I don't want to fill in anything here because I don't know whether there could be custom tree. There could be all kinds of stuff here. I don't really know. There are folks that play hardcore that their reactions make sense to have a face cam. Oh yeah, no, that's a good example for Minecraft. Same thing with like Skyblock or something like Bingo, where like there's a lot of interaction between the chat and the streamer. I think that also warrants face cam stuff. I think if there's a lot of like pausing and thinking or whatever, I think having a face cam helps, right? Because sometimes if you're just, not doing anything, it can be a little bit tricky. I tend to try and talk through my thought process, and so hopefully that ends up, being things that people can return to in terms of like, okay, well, I mean, he's standing still, but he's like walking us through what he's doing, talking about something in context, like that kind of stuff. And so here's a spot where having, if I had, I think I put them back. Crap. What am I not using? I'm not using very much coarse dirt. I'm not using the stone stairs very much. Let's put those back too. Unfortunately / fortunately, with my current job and who I work for, as well as my kids, I don't use a face cam. No, that makes sense. You know, like if you've got young kids that, you know, want to come into the studio in the background or whatever, no, that's total. I think that's a valid thing. I think also just, I mean, like, I don't have to make an excuse. I can just be like, I don't want to, you know, like I can just straight up say like, nah, just don't want to. And that's why I don't have a face cam, you know? I find too, it's also just another point of failure. I've been thinking about it though as a way to you know, engage more, maybe bring in more people that might click on the stream that otherwise would not, that kind of a thing. So I have thought about it in that way. All right, now here, definitely want to put in a bit of rock here. And this is where I think we can probably, this feels a little bit strange, so we can probably just make this all like rubble and have it go up from there. Yeah, it's a better way to tie that in, I think. So most of this is going to be like, what does it look like from the road? The answer is pretty good. You really can't see too much. This is a little bit obscuring the view, but I don't know, if anything, what we put here. That's better. So some of these larger spots, I don't exactly know how to handle it. I guess we'll just put in little bits here and there. Obviously, we've missed some andesite here. I liked what we did over on the other side where I put like a few things like farther away. It makes sense. Pretty simple. Even though this is the same color as that, I think it still works okay. I would like to have a little bit more going on in this section. Maybe even get some tuff like above ground. I really like this moss kind of giving like a almost like an impact, as if when the thing fell it kind of pushed some dirt up to the side. Maybe this is a little bit too much here. It's not bad. Trying to just make different patterns where I can. First time chatting in streams is Imagine Arimada? Arimda? How do I say your name? Been listening to this podcast for, I want to say, over a year. Wow, thank you very much. Glad to see Westhill live. Appreciate it. There you go. Westhill live. It's not small. It's not small. Call you imaginary. Will do. Oh, I see. I see now. Okay, cool. Well, welcome in, imaginary. It is bigger. Yeah, it's 21 chunks, I think, from east to west, and then like 12 or 14 north to south. I wonder if I can get away with just like a great big old like chunk like right there. I think I can. I just think I maybe have to move it. Yeah, it's not bad. I think we could definitely use a couple of bushes somewhere. You can hear the skeletons below. So I try to think about these things as having like the start of the bush and then like an offshoot and then things that would be considered more like extensions. Calberti says, I'm loving the addition of the debris. Really helps sell that the wall has been around for quite some time. Thanks. It feels like when you back up like this, it feels quite small. I feel like there needs to be... I thought this was a big chunk of debris, but to me it even seems like it could be a lot bigger. And like I almost want to take this concept and push it to the point where it's like around the corner here in the biggest spot. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but I feel like that's pretty good. Obviously, I prefer to use grass instead of dirt, just because it looks finished right away. And even then, it still feels like a very small pile, right? Like it feels big compared to what we were doing before. I felt that larger piles of debris would look wrong though, says Scotsman, because they would suggest a section of the wall has fallen, but give you reasons for different colorization of the wall, for patches areas, things like more landscaping. Yeah. I don't want to get overboard with like creating more texture than I need to. I do want to come through with the polished andesite. I like what I did over here, where there's some polished andesite in the bottom. A little bit too uniform in places, but I feel like it should be down here maybe. But I didn't do that all the way along. Like there's, I think I didn't put one here. You're going to suggest windows imaginary, but then you realize that's not a good idea. No, the windows are in the towers. Like the windows are like the arrow slits that you see in the different towers. And any other window is much higher. I mean, weirdly, we have this kind of guardhouse outside the town. But that's just because of the design, the reference that I was using for that. I guess I can put some of these in along the way here too. Thanks for the follow, Imaginary. Glad you're enjoying the stream. Let's put you here. I think maybe even just 1 or 2 per section would be fine. And it may look like a room in there, but it's really just like an empty wall most of the time. There's not much going on. I didn't realize how much of this was empty. I thought this was more filled in. There are spots that it connects to a cave, but usually I filled it in with dirt, but this must have been where I expanded it. I would say this is probably, yeah, look, it's even textured. So obviously visible from the other side. So I would say that in some cases we've got like an expansion that happened. I didn't finish tweaking things. Thanks for the break reminder. Appreciate it, Dan. It's a little repetitive with these. I'm not sure I like them. We'll have to see. I'll let it sit for a while. I feel like the problem is that they look like they're more important than these. And then that causes an issue. I wonder if what if they were just regular bricks instead of andesite? Like if the highlight block was just these. And it doesn't really work either. Right, it's not bad. I just not sure if it's to my liking. All right, time for another break. Gonna go grab a cup of coffee, maybe even a snack. You should too. Grab a friend, grab a snack. We'll be right back. So we're almost done full north wall, which is nice. Yeah, a little repetitive, but not bad. I think that was all of them. Everything else despawned, I guess. So I was debating putting another body of water in here and having it like trickle down. I don't think it's really worth it. I wouldn't mind having a slightly larger pile of rubble along here, which could be cool. I was hoping to maybe push it out and cover this a bit. See, it feels big when you're right on top of it, but then you back up to the road and it barely even makes sense. I guess it's not terrible. Maybe just a little bit taller. As an alternative to a body of water, have you considered like a swampland area that would be a soggy moat? Yeah, you know, that's not a bad idea either. That would make sense, actually. We could have like a low-lying swamp there. That would be good. Just like one block down, you know, like just with like, in the same way that they do swamps in Minecraft dungeons, where it's just like 2 or 3 blocks of water, but they don't always connect. That could be actually pretty cool in here. It would make sense too from like a defensive standpoint too, because then the attackers would be really slowed down by the swamp and they'd be subject to all kinds of bombardment. That would be kind of cool. Good idea. I'm definitely getting tired of having a full inventory though. The mossy varins are indeed great blocks. I quite like them. I do get hung up on just how much we can see the side of the dirt, though. Not my favorite thing. That's not going to work because it's directional. Crap. All right, let's do... we pull something from over there? Not quite. That might work. That's a little on the dark side. And not in the cool Darth Vader way. I find sometimes putting bushes on the edges of grassy hills can kind of soften the corners a little bit, which is nice. Officially out of grass. Might have more back in the chest. Hope dies last. Metopina, that's a bright way of looking at things. Woof. Yeah, we're low. Do I have any more over here? Just a few. Where do I probably need to mow the grass anyway? I would say probably in here is going to need some adjustments. So I'll grab the grass in here. Does grass just grow too high on its own, or is that like a world generation thing? That's a weird little pool of water. Only bone meal can make it too high outside of world generation? Okay, cool. That's what I thought. Wasn't sure. Right back up to a full stack. Nice. You can find very rare too tall grass in chests in the savannah. Really? That's cool. So I think that's looking pretty good. It's still a little flat, but this is looking good. I like the idea of that marsh, although it puts a huge thing on my to-do list. So maybe we'll come back to that. But when I open up the book, don't let me forget. Don't let me forget. I think this could benefit from maybe, I don't want to put bushes like too evenly across here. Maybe we just need like a simple pile of stuff here. And break this up with maybe a bit of mossy cobble. Now along here, I don't know what else we can do. I guess we'd have another larger pile here. So much backing up and just checking to make sure it's not overpowering or too similar. I think it's just too similar. Maybe make it large but low. Would do anything for survival mechanic that increased growth speed of crystal clusters. That would be cool. I wonder what we could use on crystals to make them grow. Like bone meal works for plants. Maybe like XP bottles or something. You really like the debris on the diagonal? Oh, thanks. Music, Scotsman. That's an interesting idea. Having music being something, or a certain frequency, like maybe if you had to like a specific, like maybe the placing of amethyst blocks. I mean, Scotsman, you're someone that's been using crystals. You probably know what would make the most sense. I don't know about jukebox, but like definitely some sort of sound. I like the idea of using a skulk sensor somehow. I'm probably just going to end up changing this whole thing to be all moss. So I might as well just do it now. Oh, that's all the moss. I think I've mentioned this before, but I absolutely love the fact that we have an easier takeoff mechanic now, and have for quite some time. But I remember when it was not easy just to kind of stand up and take off from the ground. You always had to jump off of at least one block. And so this is not just a harsh line. Come in here and add a bunch of different bits. What are you moaning about? I just gave you a present, silly zombie. Looks pretty good. I really think about this a lot like painting. I think this is probably a good spot for grass. Or vice versa, actually. Mossy cobble just looks so good next to moss. Can't pass up the opportunity. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Where did that go? There we go. haven't really been using the mangrove bushes much. What are you moaning about? Just gave you a present, stupid zombie. Almost sprayed water from my drink bottle over my laptop. Glad I caught you off guard with that. I can be pretty dry sometimes. Dripstone under a budding block might be an interesting idea of on Animal's comment. Dripstone under a budding amethyst block. That seems like it would deter, like sucking water out of amethyst blocks. It seems weird. Yeah, this feels really repetitive. I'm not super happy with some of the grass here. I might even get rid of this one too. It's funny, like it looks good as like a little kind of segment, but then when you look at it as a whole, it starts to feel very repetitive. Well played, Scotsman. That's funny. All right, we're getting close. Getting close. I feel like another decent sized pile could be here. Although this all looks pretty new. We don't have any texture on this either. That's going to be a pain. A lot of scaffolding going up and down. That long one seemed to work out okay. Maybe we can try that. Mossy cobbletons look good next to tough as well. I feel like there are times when it doesn't listen to me, like it replaces a tool instead of a block in my inventory when I pick block. I think certain tools have like a priority. Whoops. Oh, maybe the other way around, having dripstone drip water down onto amethyst blocks. I could see that, because that's how like limestone is made in real life, you know, like water deposits. There's a slight desync sometimes. I find that if I click and move a block and leave my inventory in a hurry, it'll revert. Oh, no, I'm talking about like pick block replacing things like my shears in my inventory. Doesn't happen with my pickaxe or my shovel, but I notice every once in a while my shears aren't where I want them to be. But I could also be doing it and just not realizing it, like doing it manually. I think that's good. If the shears were enchanted, they wouldn't get replaced. Ah, that could be it too. Because I don't bother enchanting shears, right? Ah, okay. I didn't realize that. I mean, it makes sense. I probably knew that. I'm sure Johnny has told me that once or twice on the Spawn Chunks podcast. So I don't think I have the right arch for this bridge yet, but just in general, I think that looks pretty good. It's not over the top, like I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of time doing it. Now here's a place where I would probably consider putting in like a thicket or something. For now, we'll just put in a bunch of grassy bits. I'll leave this here in terms of the cave. I don't know if we're going to try to do something with the cave. Probably not. Yeah, I'd say that just enough to say it doesn't look forgotten about. So that is the full north wall debris. The only thing left to do is the stonework along the wall for this small section here. But for that, I'm going to reduce my inventory a bit. We're going to need polished andesite and andesite. We'll keep some stone. Keep some cobble. Mossy bricks are probably going to go away. Don't need tough or mossy cobble. I guess I should probably have a stack of grass in there too, shouldn't I? So the only thing I need now is some of these. And I think I will bring some grass for scaffolding instead of using scaffolding. Sandwich Power, hello. That's a fun username. Welcome in. Okay, so it looks like we left off here with the andesite. Don't want it to be in the same spot. And of course, it's getting dark. I don't know if I've ever enchanted shears. I may have. I think I stopped once they changed the way that hose worked. As far as like leaves and hay and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not in love with this idea, but I think it's better than just plain andesite the whole way around. It's hard just not to make it in like a wave pattern, you know? And I guess we'll just tag maybe one more over here. Or maybe two. Maybe just one. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I know that I absolutely end up making patterns when I don't want to, or least expect it. So I'm going to switch into bricks and scaffolding. I feel like that's a little bit imbalanced. Pretty big tower. It might need more than just the two, but Like we could maybe use a third one around there. So here, I think what I'm going to do is make sure I'm in range, and I'm just going to build scaffolding up. And then from here, we're just going to do dirt, or grass rather. Now, this would be useful if scaffolding could actually do this, but because it can't, we're stuck doing it the old-fashioned way. All right, I might have put it a little bit too far away, but whatever. The crouch reach has its advantages anyway. And I'm really not thinking too hard about this. I'm just trying to think about like avoiding patterns and trying to think about how I can make things look random if possible. Like here, I want to go down to that corner, but I can't reach it from here. And then I guess we'll go here. That will have to go down lower for yeah. And along here to maybe like of course this is going to affect what's inside too. So here, that's pretty good. Let's just pop up here a little bit. I wonder if he's in the cave. I hear the wandering trader. Maybe that has to be in here. Oh, that's going to affect the inside. Maybe we'll go one lower. Saw a chest just behind that, so to kind of keep the inside design symmetrical, and then we could go back down. Oh, is he in the wall? That would be pretty funny. Annoying, but funny. I can hear him. Yeah. Oh, there he is there. On the other side of the gate. So just have to go up a little bit further. Being able to place scaffolding in water like that is useful. I wish you could place scaffolding on the stairs. Hopefully that doesn't look terrible on the inside. No baddies by the bed, that's good. EJ, to you. Hello. Thanks for coming in and saying hi. Apparently you lurk fairly often, but you watch the Spawn Chunks podcast a lot. By watch, you mean listen on YouTube, I guess? Very cool. I'm glad you like the show. And if this is the first time you've seen, well, I guess this isn't the first time you've seen Westhill if you've been lurking a bit, but we've had a couple people come by and be just like, wow, okay, now I understand what you're talking about so often on the Spawn Chunks. So I think I do like Sandy's idea of having a swamp along the front. I think that could really help make this feel like less of a weird, empty area. So for context, I don't know if you can quite see from here, but there's an area right here that has like a ridge that follows along. You can see it pretty clearly on the map. This whole kind of area here. And Sandy was suggesting that we turn that into a swamp as a way to kind of further deter anybody approaching the wall and help protect the town. We did something very similar on the east side. Actually, I'll take a flight over and we can take a look at it. But over there, we've got a pond that kind of drains into the river over here. So it's a very small section of wall. So it was a very small project. Nothing like the size of a swamp there. But it was very effective at creating a taller wall, right? Because we dug down like 2 blocks here and then more as we added the water. But then it creates like this really cool kind of obstacle, but then also an opportunity for a cool bridge and then a path and some water. I wouldn't do like a single stream. I think this would be really interesting if we took the swamp and like took like a whole chunk of it and just ran it like right down into the river. So like instead of like a single waterfall, we could have like 3 or 4 or 5 just like little like 3 wide or 5 wide bits kind of all draining down into there. That would be kind of cool. Although I guess really water wouldn't do that. Water would probably there would probably be something I would say probably in this area, which would be cool because then we could have something interesting here that you could look at from the bridge. Like as you're coming across the bridge, you'd have something interesting right in front of you. Although the bridge is going to be pretty wide, so we'd have to make sure that we can see it. So probably the bridge, or the rough idea of the bridge, has to come in first before the swamp. But I like the idea of putting a swamp in there, which is pretty cool. Imaginary says that swamps are lovely terraforming projects. Yeah, I think it'd be really neat too to be able to come in here and do like the same way that Minecraft Dungeons does it, where it'd be like this, like that, and then something like this and that, and then all over the place, and just like have a lot of that, just like have that be water, you know, make some of this mud instead of grass. Like this could be really fun and interesting. I've never done it before, so that could be something cool. Let's add that to the book so I don't forget. I guess we would put that in like the countryside part of the book. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, so we put it here. So swampy. Let's say base of northern curtain wall. And then we also can check off the details. Unfortunately, I have to add one. So north curtain wall, foot details and debris. However, we need to do so unfortunately we have to do the south. So I had to add something. We checked something off today, but we still have something else, because if you fly around, there is no wall along the west, because of course the west is all mountain and river. But we have the base of this wall still needs some stuff. We have, this is going to be part of the keep, but I do have, oh, I forgot that I turned this into river. I don't have as much as I thought. That's good. So this is here. This was grass. I forgot I did this. So this is, I thought I had all this to do, but that's all underwater. This, however, though, we'll need to do something here, and I need to bring this stuff up to snuff. There's just a little bit more there. So there's just a little bit more, but not much. That's good. So I'm sure we'll do that tomorrow. And I think the other thing I'd like to do is just maybe not finish this bridge, but I'd like to at least get it to like a rough stage. We had a nice rough version of this before I finished that. And I think having another, like at least have the structure there to look at and understand how it's going to attach to the countryside, because it's just one of those things, like we can see it from almost every position out here. Crossroads, front gate, we can see it from the wall in many places. So I'd like to try and make sure that that bridge looks like it's intentional and up to snuff. I think I got everything checked off. Yeah, so we're good there. I can maybe delete this line there. So the surrounding countryside, we've got the North Road and Crossroads. I'm standing on those. West Road Bridge, that's what I was just talking about. Northern Farms, Western Riverscape. So those are all like very far afield. East Bridge Road, East Farm Road. So all that stuff is like all over here. And so that's just kind of like my long-term checklist for the area. Not necessarily the checklist for finishing Westhill itself. Basically what I'm focusing on from Westhill is anything you can see from the kind of the front gate. So I would like to make sure that this has got some sort of retaining wall on it. I want to make sure that this road kind of goes around the corner at a site. We obviously have to finish up the road out here now that we've made these changes. But I'm happy with the terrain changes here. I feel like being able to see more, you can even see the railing of the bridge from down here now, which is nice, which you couldn't before. And this feels much taller. I feel like I've got an awful lot of these blocks in there. That's not my favorite texture on that, but I can't think of a way to do that without just having this weird, like, it looks like a bar graph going across the bottom. But I guess we could remove them and just kind of see what it looks like. It would be fairly easy to take out. But I might mess around with that in between streams, just because I find that it's very difficult to constantly go up and down on scaffolding. Yeah, see, like I feel like I've got like this weird kind of squiggle going across there, which I'm not a big fan of. Maybe the thing to do is to just do it on the towers and then leave the wall alone. That might be the best way to go. I'll have to see. I have to see. Anyway, pretty good stuff. I like what we've done along here today. And I like some stuff over here too. I like this bush that kind of hangs over the edge. That's cool too. Pig was not part of the plan, but hey, you can't have everything. So I'm going to pass you all along to Tadpole Milk, who is a fun Minecraft player. I'm sure you are familiar. If you've been here more than once, we raid them on a fairly frequent basis. If you want to come back tomorrow at 1 o'clock Atlantic, that's UTC minus 3 hours, we'll be doing more of this. Probably that south side of the wall that I mentioned. That's probably what we'll tackle. Maybe the bridge. We might do both. You can, of course, check out the Citadel Cafe podcast and the Spawn Chunks podcast. They're both free wherever you find a podcast, wherever you like to download those from. They are on YouTube as well if you want to do it that way. And check out patreon.com/JoelDuggan. It's one of the best ways to support the stream. You can also just tell friends. You don't have to support financially. Just being here and watching and bringing in more people. I'm trying to grow the channel as best I can. And one of the best ways to do that organically is to just bring people in and see if they want to stick around. So if you've got friends that you think would like it, bring them next time. And next time is tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you all then. Bye for now. Enjoy Tadpole Milk. Be kind and have a great Saturday. Bye for now.